Oh. And now you're looking at the Expert Grill 5 burner with the side burner. And I got some chicken legs, drumsticks, meat, poultry, whatever you want to call it, that I'm going to throw here on the Expert Grill using the grill grates from grillgrate.com. I'm going to throw this down. Yes, I did do a little mustard binder. Amazing. How about that? You don't see me doing binders anymore. Not too much, but I figured, what the heck. Let's get this rub to stick. Don't worry, you won't taste that binder. People love saying that. Don't worry, you won't taste that. Oh, looks like we get a little plucker right there. Don't worry, it'll burn off. Little lady hates it when she sees those little chicken hairs. And the rub you see on the other side is this holy voodoo from Meat Church. I love Meat Church. I just wish they loved me. Yeah, we're gonna get a little sprinkle of this. Get it up on that top shelf, of course. That will be good. Oh, you big dummy. You should have put the rub on before you threw it on the grill. Well, I did on one side, but big dummy. You should have let it sit on there for a while. Before I'm hungry now, okay? Yeah, this could have easily been put on the Paulie Detmer's channel, but you know what? I'm a man, and I make decisions. And I bet every neighbor out here is looking at me like I'm crazy wearing this hat in the sun. It's a beautiful thing though. When it's hot out here, nobody comes out. Oh, we do have one out. Old man. Another old man out here. That's a good thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna let this cook off a little bit. Close her down. Take this back in and give it a wash. So I'm back out here now with a clean pair of tongs. As you can see, I already touched some of that chicken. And these drumsticks are well on its way to being cooked. It will cook perfectly because I'm using the grill grates from grillgrate.com. Yeah, sitting out here in the sun with a black t-shirt on. It's okay. Now, I have been thinking a lot about my days in the Navy, and I think some stories are worth sharing in the form of a Detmer's Sea story. I've seen some things that make your head spin. Had to do some things that would make your head spin. Crazy things. Some things I can't even talk about. I'll probably get, this whole video would probably get blocked or even cancel my channel. Some of the things I've seen. But where would you all like to go? Oh, you say Africa? Okay, yeah, I went to Africa. I went to Mombasa in Kenya, Africa. That was 1985 on board the USS Constellation. And yeah, when we pulled in there, we don't really tie up to the pier because there wasn't anywhere to tie up to. They're in Mombasa. So we were anchored out, and they had Liberty boats shuttling us back and forth from the ship to shore. I'm thinking, wow, here we are in Africa. Here I am, 21 years old. Still kind of green behind the ears as far as Navy terms goes. And yeah, so I'm on a Liberty boat going into Africa. I get off the boat, and there's a whole bunch of people. They're trying to sell wooden statues, beautiful statues. Some of them like big tall giraffes, as tall as any of us getting off the ship. Yeah, over 5 to 6 feet tall. And other kind of animal items, and they were selling elephant tusk, which was illegal to buy because we weren't allowed to bring them back. And you say, no money, no money. Although you're going into Mombasa to spend money, they know it, but you just say, no money. So they come up to you and they grab your shirt. They want to trade you your shirt for one of those statues. Now, we had a lot of guys come back to the ship with no shirts on. I think they got chewed out a little bit because there is a dress code leaving and coming back to the ship. We had to wear collared shirts. You had to wear a belt, and if your shirt was your shirt had to be tucked in. You could not dress up like a slob. I did not trade a shirt in Mombasa, Kenya, Africa. Now, the whole trip to Kenya would have been a total waste of my time if I had not gone on the African safari tour. That's right, a safari tour. Went out on these, well, first thing we had to do is go to this airport. The whole tour, let me tell you, cost $25. So we go to this airport, we get in this prop plane. I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Flying in an airplane in Kenya, Africa. Well, I remind myself it was a tour that was offered through the ship's MWR department. So I figured it was going to be safe. It was authorized, I'll tell you that. So got on this plane, had another friend with me. Phillips was his last name. I can't remember his first name. But yeah, got on this plane. I'm thinking, okay, how long is this going to take? I think it took about an hour to get there. Remember, $25 for this tour. And trying to remember everything correctly. So while we're flying, we're approaching a mountain. This mountain's huge. Could not believe how big this mountain was. What mountain was that? Mount Kilimanjaro. Mount Kilimanjaro, tallest peak in the continent of Africa. Amazing sight. Now, this mountain's so big. The plane that we were in, we flew around Mount Kilimanjaro. I don't even know if the plane could fly above it. I'm not sure, but yeah, you couldn't even you could barely see the top. I mean, it was amazing, an amazing sight to see from a plane on the side of the mountain. I was kind of scared, though, I'll be honest, and there was some kind of a turbulence going around that mountain. I wasn't liking it, but I was so amazed and impressed with that mountain. So then, we land on this landing strip in the middle of nowhere, and first thing you see is some locals. Everything like you would expect to see. I mean, the big things in the ears, kind of like how kids got today with their earrings, the loop things. Well, these people had some big loops inside of their ears, earlobes. I mean, hanging down to their shoulders. Their earlobe was hanging to their shoulders. And they were dressed in, as you would picture. And speaking of pictures, some guys try to take pictures of them. And they're like, no, it'll steal our soul or something like that. The translation was that, right? We didn't understand a word they were saying. And them guys are like, oh. But then they basically said, if you give us $5, you can take all the pictures, or something like that. Give us money, you can take pictures. So some of these sailors did give some money to get pictures, and they got their pictures. Me, I didn't even bring a camera. I don't think I did. Can't remember. 1985. So we're gathered up in this one meeting place, kind of like a resort-looking place almost. and we get into these big Jeeps, kind of like you would see on Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom, and we're off. Crazy. First thing we seen was some monkeys or something out in the wild. Tigers. Seen some lions eating something else, another animal, and then we came up to the elephants. Well, the elephants started coming up to us, and the driver started revving the engine. And I asked, why are you revving the engine? The guy says, to scare them off or they will attack the truck. I'm thinking, oh crap, I'm gonna get smashed by an elephant. I'm gonna die right here, 21 years old. This isn't worth it. Crazy. Well, we didn't get smashed. You know, the elephants stayed away, but I've seen everything. Giraffes, hippopotamus, you name it. Very cool in the end, knowing I was gonna live. That was the beauty of it all. Knowing that I was gonna still be alive. And not having my obituary in my local hometown paper in Michigan. So yeah, we get back to this little resort area. Tons of food. They had fruits, some meat. It was kind of like a African luau. I mean, so much stuff. So I got my fill of food, and I wanted to get something to chew on for the plane, as well as at that moment. So they sold some drinks and stuff like that. They're alcohol if you wanted that, but I wanted some gum. Bought me a pack of Wrigley spearmint gum, and sitting there at a picnic table, just minding my own business. There were some monkeys around there playing, and they were fun to watch. But I opened up the gum, got me one piece of gum, and one of the monkeys came up and stole my pack of gum. You would think the place would warn you about this, but yeah, so I had this gum stolen from me. I tried to reach to get it back from this monkey. The monkey showed me his teeth. I backed off, and I just swore at him a little bit, and he shared the gum with the other monkeys. I was so irritated. He thought it was funny, I guess, I don't know. But then I realized I was gonna have to get back on that plane. And by this time I'm already tired, I'm worn out. But we got back on the plane, and this thing only seated about 8 of us. 8 of us on this plane, prop plane, flying around Mount Kilimanjaro. But believe it or not, I was so tired, I fell asleep on that plane, and woke up shortly before we landed. Then it is time to get back to the ship, so everybody waits the last minute to get back to the ship because they don't want to go back to the ship, and I'm one of them guilty of that. But most of these guys were drunk, they were wasted, and we get on a Liberty boat. It's monsoon season, and this boat, Liberty boat, is rocking like crazy. I mean, crazy. And all of a sudden, you got one guy, he just throws up right in the middle of the floor on this Liberty boat. And everybody's laughing, clapping. Everybody thought it was funny. I was laughing too. But that set off a chain reaction, and 3 more guys threw up. It turned into a barfo-rama. Everybody was throwing up everywhere. Everybody that got drunk. Again, I wasn't drunk, I didn't throw up, but the smell down there below that deck was terrible. You know, it'll be something I'll never forget. That's Kenya, Africa.